Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our kickoff of the Doc Talk. This is a great opportunity for all of us to come together as one in LifeVantage and just share being Team LifeVantage. Kim Kobinski, Dr. Nancy Bryan, and I had a brainchild, and we thought if we just could all come together, share things that would be able to be recorded and sent off to all of LifeVantage and be able to be used to educate and as a tool for everyone. Wouldn't that be awesome? And so we came up with this idea of Doc Talk. We also are going to be coming up with or sharing what we call My Story Matters. And so once a month on Tuesdays, we are going to have a Doc Talk where we are going to feature wonderful people like our featured guest tonight, Dr. Dondee Nettles. And then on the other three Tuesdays, we will be having people share their personal LifeVantage stories, what it was that drew them here, because we all have a story. Whether you think you have a story or not, you have a story. And so we just want to thank all of you. There's going to be a lot of people hopping on, and we want to thank you for the excitement of making this the launch of this call amazing. And you're going to be able to say, hey, I was there when it all happened. And it's just going to carry on and be just a blessing to so many of us. So we want to thank you and encourage you again to keep your phones muted. We're going to have Dondee talk to us, and it's going to be pretty crazy good. Okay. And so I'm going to introduce this fine person. Dondee had was a lot of the reason why I came on board with LifeVantage. There were a few people that I'd listened to, and I'll tell you what, for me, it was just a really comfortable place because of the professionalism and the quality of the people who were on board. So I'm going to give you a brief bio of Dr. Dondee Nettles. He's a former family wellness chiropractor specializing in posture correction. Now, that's probably something I need from him. I do it a little bit lopsided. He's had the fourth largest solo chiropractic practice in Arizona, seeing 350 to 500 patients per week. Wow. He was also an AM talk radio host, and you're going to get that when he starts talking. He's got the voice, boy. Prior to becoming a stay-at-home dad, wellness educator, a 9-to-5 exit strategist, a podcaster, and home-based global entrepreneur. He now has the perfect blended family with his beautiful wife, Marcy. They are just, I mean, the epitome of love, you guys. What an amazing couple. Together, they have 4 great kids and 3 grandkids. They're passionate about equipping, elevating, and empowering families to create a global legacy and achieve their dreams. And you know, Dondee, again, what drew me to LifeVantage was there were so many people of quality that I trusted. You know, I know that you are all putting your stamp on things. And for me, it was like, you know, when I'm talking about this, we have a whole group of professionals. And I want to say they're professionals in the medical field, but I hate even saying the medical field because I feel like in the medical field, we have wellness professionals and we have illness professionals. But at LifeVantage, we have a gathering of all of those wellness professionals. And so it's my pleasure, you know, to introduce you, Dondee. And I just want you to tell me, what would it be, Dr. Dondee Nettles, that drew you to LifeVantage and made you comfortable enough to put your stamp on what we have here?
Great question. Can you hear me, Sandy?
Yes, I can.
So first and foremost, I would just tell you that it was an obligation. What I felt was a debt of obligation to share information that I knew, because I knew that people have problems. They have health problems. They have life problems. They've got financial problems. People have all kinds of problems. And when in a professional capacity as a healthcare provider, we have an oath, which is literally we are swearing to uphold the tenets that give us that license and that very ability to serve people. And the first one is to first do no harm. And the second is take everything that you know, your experience, your education, your schooling, and your practice knowledge, and apply that for the betterment of your patients. And if you're not doing that, you are not living up to your oath. And so when I realized what the power of the only product we had at the time was Protandim NRF2, but when my own personal experience and putting it first in 6 patients in my practice, and then an additional 30, once I started to see, so you mentioned posture correction. So kind of think of the analogy of the difference between a general dentist and an orthodontist. A general dentist will tell you how to take care of your teeth, give you maybe a toothbrush and some flossing advice, and see you when you have a cavity and tell you to take care of your teeth. An orthodontist, on the other hand, takes crooked teeth and makes them straight. That's what my practice background was. So I wasn't a headache and back pain kind of doctor. I was taking somebody with scoliosis or a whiplash or something wrong in their mid back or their thoracic cage, their rib cage, or a loss of curve in their neck, and through exercises and traction, put those curves and the normal posture back in the spine to alleviate the pressure that allows or that is interfering with the brain's ability to communicate to the body. And once I started seeing that the patients that were on Protandim NRF2, their x-rays were correcting 30 to 40% faster than 12 previous years of practice using the same identical protocol. That's when I realized I had a debt of obligation to share this with everyone who would listen. I didn't have the obligation to make them sign up or buy the product, but I did have the obligation to tell them, otherwise I literally wasn't living up to my practice or my license and my very ability to practice. So that's why. And I did the scientific background. I looked at the studies because, one, I didn't want to share a product that wasn't working. I demonstrated that. And I didn't want to get behind a movement, which is what I thought LifeVantage was. And I still consider it to be a massive global movement to this day. But I didn't want to jeopardize my personal or professional reputation and the credibility of my name in doing so. So there had to be the scientific validation. So I wasn't trying to convince someone why they should take the product or tell them the story of somebody they don't know and that person's experience on the product, or give them a brochure that they have to trust me on, because I love trust, but I would never imply it on someone or expect it of them, especially a stranger. But if I have a scientific background to fall back on that is proving the product, it's printed in medical journals, not my opinion, and I have a debt of obligation because I know that it works, that was the perfect blend of opportunity for me to jump in with LifeVantage. Reluctantly, I will tell you, I was not a fan of network marketing in the beginning. And it was something that I jumped into not so significantly that 18 months after doing so, I literally sold my practice, canceled my radio show, and went home to be a stay-at-home dad, where I've been for the last 14 years. So why,
Well,
and I have got the same question for you, Sandy. I know you were a teacher for 26 years. Why would a teacher who's, your habits and your skill set and your gifting is teaching people, why did you think it was okay to teach people about this?
Well, actually, I was in a previous company when I left teaching because I love teaching and coaching, and now I have the world as my classroom. And so I still get to teach and coach every day, and especially with this new product coming. But for me to come to LifeVantage, it took a lot, and it was some of the same type of experience, Dondee. I'm a breast cancer survivor, I'm a breast implant illness survivor, and all of that happened before I knew anything about LifeVantage. But what happened after that was, once I had the breast implant illness, that's when somebody reached out to me about LifeVantage and talked to me about a business opportunity. Of course, I wasn't interested, and my first question was, how in the world could this be a in network marketing if it's such a great thing? Well, the whole thing was, it sat on the shelves forever at GNC. Nobody knew how to talk about it. They needed people like me. Even though I'm not as smart as you, Dondee, when it comes to the science and everything, which blows my mind, all I have to do is get around you and people like you to understand that I can convey that message. And with my experience, I can also say the same thing. I'm obligated to tell, with all of my blood work and all of the tests that came back and everything and where I was headed. All of that came back, and I said, I am obligated to tell people about this. Now, they have the right to make the decision that they want to make, but I'm obligated to tell them and deliver that message. And so the same thing here, now I live in a town of 300 people, but I have a voice that I use digitally across the world to, we can do this one thing. And by the way, guys, I'm sorry that the webinar is only holding 100. Kim upgraded to 500, and for some reason it didn't happen. Thank goodness for the recording, right? We're going to have that. So just relax. Everybody's going to get the recording, and we're going to go on with that. But anyway, it's just, I feel obligated to share this too. And so here's the thing, Dondee, we cannot claim to cure, treat, mitigate any disease, nor would we ever want to do that. I don't know that there's anybody that could guarantee anything like that. But what we can say are some things that we're going to talk about tonight. Now, Dondee and I are both on an NDA, And we are very holding true to that non-disclosure agreement where we are not going to be able to talk about some of the things with this new product. Just understand that we're not going to be able to do that, okay? But we are going to share what we do know, and there's plenty to talk about that. So we are here to protect the house. We're here to protect LifeVantage. We're here to protect ourselves. There is no exaggeration necessary when it comes to LifeVantage. We can say that. We just have to be very careful about how this message was received. So Dondee, speaking of messages and speaking of questions, this is $1 million question. We've got people on tonight. They don't even know what we're talking about when we say activation. Could you give us just a general overall view of what activation is?
Yeah, activation, let's just call it the natural state of the body when we were young. And I'm going to preface that by saying there's only two phases of human life. There's growth and there's aging. And from the moment we are conceived and then born up until our mid-20s, we're growing. And under normal circumstances, nothing ever dies while it's still growing unless there's a problem. And let's just say when there's a problem, we may face something like that. But if there's no problem while we're growing, everything in the body works optimally. That's activation. As we get into the next phase of aging, the older we get, the things start to break down, and we literally succumb to the lifestyle choices that we make. That's when we need to supplement. So supplement versus activation. Activation is literally, regardless how old we are, returning our body's natural pathways back to their original efficiency, like when we were young. And here's kind of the way you can think about it. If you equip the body to do what it's designed to do, it does. It thrives. It always has. It always will. When you trick or manipulate the body to do what you think it should do, it will always object. And that objection is side effects. So when we think in our educated minds that we give this person this chemical, this concoction, whatever it is, to trick that pathway into altering its normal function, and that's the key, altering its normal function, it will always object because it's not normal, and that objection is the side effect. Activation doesn't do that. Activation understands the natural pathway of the human body, whether it's to lower oxidative stress, to create more cellular energy, to create better cellular communication and cleanup, which is what NAD does, to make collagen again, or to make GLP-1 again, the way it was supposed to. It activates the normal pathway to do what it was supposed to do, when it's supposed to do it, how it's supposed to do it when we were younger. That's activation in a nutshell. And that's what our products do.
And that's incredible. So our buzzwords are take it to make it, you know, yep. We take it and our body is allowed to make it. And so that's our big hashtag. And it's just as simple as that, you guys. Don't have to worry about being a rocket scientist to know this, that all you have to do is experience it. And talk about experience, Dondee. Let's talk about, what sets us apart. I know that I will never not do LifeVantage, and I don't even worry about what anybody else has. They said, well, what about this? And I said, I don't know about that at all. But what I do know is this: the safety, the efficacy, the quality of our products. What sets LifeVantage apart?
Ooh, great question. So first of all, let's talk about the safety. We have an internal 22-point quality assurance mechanism within our protocol to make sure that all of our ingredients that are coming in from all over the world are, number one, they're pure, they exceed organic standards, they're sustainable, and they're quality, and there's no pesticide residues, there's no heavy metals, and we literally have a 22-point inspection plan to make sure that the raw materials, the ingredients, are exceeding what they say they are, what we purchased them for. The other, which it comes along with the safety part of it and the efficacy part of it, is making sure that we are abiding by regulator guidelines. So first and foremost, the Food and Drug Administration. Now, we don't have products that are Food and Drug Administration approved, but we have products that are Food and Drug Administration scrutinized and hold up to the highest quality of standards. We also have the epitome of the GMP, the Good Manufacturing Practice seal. We have the National Science Foundation seal, the NSF seal. We have the Banned Substances Control Group certification. We have multiple studies published in PubMed, a medical journal. So when we've got the safety and the quality control, then we know that when we assemble those products from the ingredients that start with that level of safety and scrutiny, that we're going to have products that work. But it's not just hearsay. We put them to scientific empirical study. In other words, we have researchers try to disprove what we're saying. And when they can't, they have to accept. And that's what all of our products are put to scientific scrutiny. So it's not us trying to give somebody a brochure or just trust me, wink, wink, you're going to try to take this product. There's scientific validity behind everything that we do. And that clearly sets us apart in our industry. And it's one of the things that I love the most is the compliments I get from other top earners and other network marketing companies, because we have a tremendous reputation in our industry as the epitome of scientific validation and quality control.
Well, that's great to know, because that leads me right into the next phase of what we're going to be talking about. We're seeing it everywhere. If you mention it one time, it's going to pop up on your phone, and it's the GLP-1. There's a lot of people talking about it. They don't even really know what it is. And I'll be quite honest, I didn't know what it was a few months ago. And Dondee, there's so many things that you've already touched on as far as the safety and the difference and the quality. Again, I'm not sure whatever else is out there, but what I know from what we've already have, and this is what we don't want to lose sight of, as excited as we are about what's coming in October, what we have already is far and above what anyone else could ever imagine. They will never have what we have. And so this is just another phase, but it's an exciting phase because people are a little bit reluctant to have a conversation about cellular health. Isn't that interesting? They, you know, if we could unzip our bodies from our forehead to our pelvis and open up, I think they'd be a little bit more concerned about cellular health. But you talk about weight loss or weight management, and they're like, here's my credit card, here's my money, give it to me. But we know there are other people talking about that. I don't care one thing about what else is out there other than to tell people you need to be patient for this. But what we have now is super important. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit. But Dondee, if you could, and just help us out a little bit in understanding what the GLP-1 means and what activation what our bodies being able to be activated to produce that means.
Absolutely. So GLP-1 is actually, it's an acronym for a big long word that stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. And glucagon is a hormone also, but GLP-1 is a hormone that when you eat and you chew your food properly and the food goes into your stomach, about 15 minutes after you begin eating, your lower intestine, the specific cells called the L cells, secrete this thing called GLP-1. And what it does is it slows the digestion inside your stomach so that you feel fuller longer, which is called satiation. And it curbs your hunger. So when you are full, when you literally get the signal that you're full, you stop getting hungry unless you overeat and unless this system is quieted. And I was reading a research article a couple of days ago about GLP-1, and it was specifically looking at obese people. And the quantity of GLP-1 produced in obese people is almost nothing. So they don't have the turnoff mechanism. So they continue to eat and they continue to eat. But they found something interesting with these obese people, that when they did something like a sleeve, a gastric sleeve, or a gastric bypass procedure, or a gastric belt or a band, the same people that used to be obese, after the procedure, their bodies started significantly increasing the production of GLP-1. This was back in 2013. This is actually the precursor to why we are having a conversation about GLP-1 drugs, because people that are obese, they've literally trained their body to not produce GLP-1. They've turned off the mechanism. I'm going to call it physical hunger versus emotional hunger. So when you're physically hungry, in other words, glucose, your body has low blood sugar, you get the sensation of being hungry. And when you act on that feeling of being hungry, because one, the glucose or the blood sugar gets low, you get hungry, you go eat. GLP-1 is produced while you're doing that. So it slows down the process of the stomach breaking down the food, and it sends a signal. This is the coolest part about this, Sandy, is that it's called the gut-brain axis. So in your lower intestine, it sends signals to the pancreas, which release GLP-1, which slows down emptying of the stomach, but it also, how it does that is by increasing insulin. Insulin is produced by the pancreas, which allows the blood sugar in your blood to be absorbed by your muscles and your fat, which brings the glucose down, which gives you the satisfied hunger or satiation. That signal is sent from the intestines to the heart, to the lungs, up to the brain stem through what's called the vagus nerve. And so it stimulates the sensation of being full, no longer being hungry, but it does so much more than that. It quiets the food noise, and that's the artificial hunger. So if you see somebody eating a donut, you may not even be hungry, but you want one anyway. You see somebody eating potato chips, you may not be hungry, but you want some anyway. And this is the chemicals that our food industry is putting in there to quiet that entire mechanism that's natural and not start having now an unnatural hunger, which leads to, one, improper nutrition. We are the most overfed, undernourished country in the world by far. And we spend hundreds of billions of dollars annually to treat the things that come from that pattern. So the GLP-1, when your body makes it again, and remember, it's returning to the normal way of producing the body at the right time, for the right reasons, at the right age, like you were younger. When your body does that on its own, and that's what our product does, show your body again how to release its normal GLP-1, stop you from getting hungry anymore. When you're done eating, you're done eating. The signal to your brain shuts off. You're no longer hungry, and it quiets the food noise and curbs the snacking in between, which is another, it's not a side effect. It is another positive benefit of this product is you don't snack in between meals because you're not getting that hunger signal anymore. It's just incredible what it's doing.
Well, I have to tell you, it is doing that because you and I are both on the GLP-1 system right now. And we earned an opportunity to be on this system. We went to Park City, not last week, but the week prior, weekend prior. And we are on this product now. And I am here to tell you that there are 55 of us on this product, of people of all shapes, sizes, ages, and everything on this product. And I will tell you, I'm a little bit surprised what's happened to me. The food noise, I think I've taken care of that a long time ago. You could sit and watch a football game and a Pizza Hut commercial comes on and all of a sudden they know you can just order that pizza, right? DoorDash, here it is. We're listening to people who had those habits of doing that, Don. And you see it in the group of 55 of us, we have this chat and people are saying, I'm not hungry. I'm really having to make myself eat. And Kim, one of the things she said is, now when I am hungry, I really make a conscious effort to make better food choices. And there was something else that you came up with, Dondee, when you had an aha moment. So I'm just going to let you share a little bit about, your experience. For me, I have lost 6 pounds. I did not think I had to lose. I mean, I think that we all do, but I feel really good. I'm not hungry. I have to pretty much make myself eat. But my energy is out of this world. And I will tell you, I'm 60 years old. Okay. I am so dialed in and I am so sharp. Kind of we lose that a little bit as you're having to write things down. I have been super busy and I am just on point. I feel like I could conquer the world. And so I know that's what it's doing for me. And I will show you this. My watch is loose. My rings are slipping here. And I just feel that a lot of the puffiness, because I can't say the I word, is gone from my body. And so I just want to see what's your experience and maybe Marcy's experience, Dondee, and the aha moment. Don't forget to share it.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that for me, I'm 6.5 pounds down. Today is day 10, 6.5 pounds down. I haven't been checking inches, so I don't know how many inches. Marcy's down over 7, like almost 8 inches in collective body mass loss and fat loss and burning fat. And so it's just, one, the clarity is pretty, mental clarity, attention span, and I have ADD. So I literally see squirrels that aren't there. So I have like something will just come across. I get distracted super easy. And that's one of Marcy and I's biggest issues is my distraction. And I have noticed a significant change in that. And that I'm remembering things that because I'll have something in my mind and something will distract me and I'll lose it. I'm not seeing that. And the other is food noise. I'm not having the food noise. I'm not having the cravings. And Marcy too. She, it was normally there, the snacking in between. And that's always my vice. It's either something sweet like chocolate or peanut butter or some kind of nut butter or crackers, something like cheese. Those are the things that are constantly screaming my name. And they don't do that anymore. So it's able to just quiet them down, and I'm feeling great. I feel energy like crazy. My sleep scores are off the charts, which is awesome. So yeah, it's just an incredible benefit.
And we don't know the price yet. We aren't, we don't know that. We can't talk about the ingredients or anything, but I'll just tell you, I'm not taking anything that's got bad ingredients. And I don't think you would
Right.
either. So
Nope.
we know, but we can't really disclose that because of our NDA. But you were talking about, you know, you're eating less. You're probably not going to be spending as much at the grocery store. So that takes care of anything extra that you're going to have to spend, right? Isn't that pretty much an aha moment?
Well, yeah, that was Marcy's aha moment. I can't take credit for that. She goes, you know what? I was like, what? She goes, as we're eating less, obviously, and significantly less. And because it wasn't that we were eating a lot, like huge portions, it was the snacking in between. And
Yeah.
we're not doing that anymore. And she goes, we're going to be able, just because of the things we're not eating, we're going to be able to afford this product no matter what it is. And so is everyone else, just based on what they're not eating anymore. And then some. You'll probably have a surplus left over after the product's paid for because of the food you're not eating anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that was interesting to me, and Kim and I got to spend a lot of time with Dr. Nancy, and she just kept saying, you're going to be blown away at this. You're not going to believe it, because she knows all the science, we don't. But here's the thing. All 55 of the people who are on this product now were activated prior to getting on this new GLP-1 system. Can you tell me, or tell all of us, Dondee, how important it is for them to not wait until October 11th when this product launches, but get activated now and get your gut health on point? Because I think we're on the supersize experience of what this can do. I think everybody's going to have great results, but I think we are getting the amplified out of this world results because we're already activated. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. 100% certain on that. And the thing is that activation is a layered system. So with Protandim NRF2, that's the foundation of lowered oxidative stress. And let's just call it stress. Some people still don't understand what oxidative stress is or what free radical damage is. And even if they do know what antioxidants are or they've heard of them, they don't really know and couldn't explain to you why they're beneficial. So we're still dealing with an ignorant population as a whole. So reducing oxidative stress, let's just say we're reducing stress. Everybody knows if you reduce your stress by 40% in 30 days, you're a better human being. You're a better husband, you're a better wife, you're a better brother, neighbor, uncle, employee, regardless. If you reduce your stress by 40% in 30 days, you're a better human. And why I say that is cellular stress, cells make tissue. Tissue makes organs. Organs make systems like the cardiovascular system, the reproductive system, the endocrine system, the circulatory system, and those systems make us. So if you start at the fundamental building block level of cells and you reduce the cellular stress by 40% in 30 days, you just transformed a human being. That's the foundational activation. Then you throw on the next layer, which is NRF2, mitochondria. The number one issue that people have and the number one reason people go to their doctor is because what some cells or a bunch of cells or organs or systems in their body just run out of energy before they complete the job they were designed to do. And so whether it's cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, or even depression, you name it, it is cells that ran out of energy before they completed the cycle, and the longer it stays that way, the more chronic it gets. So the next layer is our NRF1, giving all your cells in your body the energy they need to complete the job. So you start with a foundation of less cellular stress, you add cellular energy. Now you've got a person who has less stress and more energy. That's a better person than the person who had stress and had energy. Then you take the next layer, NAD, and you add better cellular communication, better cellular cleanup. So now you have better cells, better cleanup in the cells, and you have a person that has less stress, more energy, better cellular communication. You are almost creating an immortal, mortal human being, because those are the things that kill us. Cellular stress kills us, lack of cellular energy kills us, and lack of cellular communication and cellular cleanup. Over time, when those things become chronic, those are the three most prevalent theories of aging. You counteract those three theories of aging, and then you throw collagen on top of that, and you increase the body's ability to make what holds all that stuff together again. And you give cognition improvement with Axio, and you improve the gut health. Because here's the situation. I don't care how well you prepare your grocery list and how much organic fruits and vegetables are on it, and your proteins, whether they're animal proteins or vegetable proteins or a combination. It doesn't matter how much fruit and vegetables you eat that are organic, what kind of free-range chicken or grass-fed and finished beef. None of that matter. It doesn't matter what you eat. It matters what you absorb. And so if you're eating all that great expensive food, but your gut health is not working, how do you know your gut health is not working? If you've been on a round of antibiotics within the last year to 5 years, I guarantee you your gut health is not working. So you're creating very expensive bowel movements with the foods that you're buying. So how about absorbing the best nutrition for what you're spending your money on? You can't do that without proper prebiotic and probiotic. So you throw all of that together, Sandy, and we're talking about budget constraints perhaps, but if you activate all those layers and then you throw GLP-1 on top of that, there is no better way to equip a human being to live its full innate potential as long as possible, as productive as possible, and as efficient as possible of a human being with our activating products. And not a single other company in our entire space or in the private sector has one activator, let alone the 6 I just mentioned. So those, you compound those, and let's just say someone, you have the good, better, best. And I'll let you talk about that, Sandy, because you're the master of that. The good is the foundation. Lower your oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And then when GLP-1 comes, stack that on top, or all the other things that I mentioned. And as a result of this, if you're looking at the financial side of this saying, well, I can't afford that, what a great opportunity to listen to the business side of this and sharing these products with other people that you make commission by changing their life. And it's a win-win situation. When you change someone's life for the better, you should be rewarded. And the way I look at this is the amount of money we make annually is a direct result of an individual life. In other words, however many dollars you make per year in this business, it's a single life. So if you have one person on your team, you may make $1 in a month. You have 100 people, you may make 100. You have 1,000 people, you may make 1,000 month over month. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's it's all about blessing and extending the blessing by educating ignorant people to give them choices they don't currently have. And that's the difference between, you mentioned doctors. There's wellness doctors and there's illness doctors. Illness doctors never educate their patients because illness doctors prey upon and plan upon an ignorant population, because an ignorant person will follow orders. An educated person will ask questions. And I'm going to give you a visual of this. So if you have an ignorant person or you have a power-hungry doctor, this is the result you're going to have, because it's not the word, it's the first letter. When the doctor is the I and they're preying upon the ignorance of the person, this person's going to follow the doctor's order, but they're going to end with this result. This is not a good situation. However, when you empower people and the doctor is knowledgeable and the doctor teaches, or the person teaches, the person empowers them. So now we're working as a team, and it's the we in this situation. This is going to be the end result. And you're going to have this kind of a look on your face like that. That's the situation. When we do what we do, we educate people. We create an alliance with them. We empower them. And I look at it this way. It's what I call the 3E strategy. We educate them, we equip them with knowledge, and then we empower them to go be their own health advocate. That is a person that is now going to have a completely different relationship with health, wellness, and food. And that is a person that most of the time can educate their doctor. And that's exactly how I love that. And the person who has that kind of a relationship will improve the relationship with their doctor. And oftentimes they are going to have a very great strategic alliance, rather than a person following the orders that they are ignorant and the doctor is educating them, but not educating, giving them instructions, but not encouraging them to ask questions. That's the reality of what we have. And nobody has the ability to even touch us in this, Sandy. So we are head and shoulders above everyone else.
And I feel that, and I hear it, right back to what I said. Now the world is my classroom. And I'm telling you, there is no better compensation in the world than being part of someone's success story and making them feel well again. The money's fine, but it's the life that you change. And there are so many people out there who have the need for what we have. So, Dondee was saying this, we are 38 days away from launch, guys, October 11th of GLP. So if you're not activated, whew, we got to get you activated. I mean, yesterday we need to get you activated. So we are talking about how can we fit in this budget? Okay, this is good. This is the NRF2 and it's good. It's the yellow pill. That is good. If that's what you can do and that fits your budget, that yellow pill is going to change everything for you. You need to get it in your body right now. Okay, so you get back to the person who brought you to this call and you say, how do I get this? And then probably put it on speed order. That's what I would do. I'd drive all the way to the place to get it because that's how important it is to me. That's good. Here's something better. If you can do what Dondee talked about and you can do the collagen and the NRF2, that's better. There's 2 activators right there. Okay, that would really be better. Here's another better. We could do the prebiotic and the probiotic, the prebiotic, the probio, and the NRF2. That's another better. But in our case right now, especially in these next 38 days, this would be best. That whole stack. If you could do that, if we could make it as simple as we could for you to get on that, that is a great place to start. Okay, so I want you to comment in the chat. Who wants to see what the new products look like? Who wants to see it? Say me in the chat, because I'll tell you what, when we add this, okay, so you guys know, first thing that you're going to do is get this stuff in your body if you don't have it, because you need to have the gut health and you need to have the activation. But then you're going to get, here's my bottle. It's top secret information, guys. You're going to get these, and these are 2 capsules that you're going to take first thing in the morning when you wake up on an empty stomach and no calories at all. So drinking it with water. We always have people say, well, can I drink my Axio with it? How about you just take it with water, huh? How hard is that to understand? Drink it with water, okay? 30 minutes later, then at least 30 minutes later, then you can have whatever you want, take in the calories you want. Here is the next phase of this system, guys. It's this, man, I wish you could smell it. It's this wonderful vanilla flavored powder, okay? And you're going to take 4 of these scoops each day. You can take them all at once. I'm a one and done girl, okay? I mix it with my prebiotic and daily wellness. And I mix all 4 because my body is in good shape, okay? So it doesn't bother me. That was one thing I was worried about, Dondee, was whether it would mess up my perfect digestive tract, and it has not changed it a bit. So that's good news. But you could also just take one of these scoops and mix it with something throughout the day. It doesn't matter. Get it in your body. Okay. And then you go about your day. It's just like Kim said, like Dondee said, we really haven't changed anything. I haven't exercised near like I do. And I'm telling you, my clothes are loose and I feel great. This is nice. We want you still to put good nutrition in your body. We want you to make good choices all the time. I mean, your body is a temple. You want to make good nutritional choices. No empty calories, in my opinion. We don't want to be a garbage can. We want to put good fuel in our body, premium. We're like the best sold car out there, and you wouldn't put a old yucky fuel in a great expensive car. So we need to take care of our bodies, okay? So we can't emphasize to you enough, do not wait till October 11th to get activated. And then when it's time to get activated, you be ready. I feel like we're going to break the internet that day. I hope the company has enough product to cover everybody that's going to become activated. And you know what? You need to tell people that there's hope. There's a lot of people out there who've been thinking about doing something, not making a very wise decision for their health because they see a simple, fast thing, not thinking about what that's going to do to their bodies. So again, natural, something our body's capable of doing it on its own, activating. For me, that's what's going to happen. So, Dondee, I'm going to let you, add any final thoughts that you have on this of just, coming from your standpoint, activation now, and then GLP-1 system come October 11th, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I would just say, encourage everyone to get activated first in preparation for this GLP-1. And I want to kind of just pose a what if. And it's not even a what if, because there are people that are going to capitalize on this, but this is literally the potential that we have in our hands. And I want you to think about this, is that as representatives of LifeVantage, that we are in a very unique place in human history, because we have all of us here collectively have something the world does not yet have, unless they are taking our products. And that is this. That is the ability to be among the people that will never have to endure high levels of oxidative stress ever again. They will never have to endure low levels of cellular energy ever again. They will never have to endure low levels of cellular cleanup and communication or collagen production or brain activity or GLP-1 properly working ever again. And all the breakdowns of all of those pathways I just mentioned are the reason people die before they should, when people die before their expiration date. And so we are literally building and creating and nurturing and encouraging the first generation of human beings on planet Earth in human history to ever not have to worry about those things. So, and I was reading an article last week that this longevity specialist said the first person to live to be 1,000 other than in biblical times is alive right now. And this guy who said that doesn't know anything about our activation products. So if this person did, and I'm trying to make that happen, how much truer could that statement be? Because I don't know whether that's true or not, but I know when you give the body what it needs, it performs the way it's supposed to perform. And as long as we're giving it proper nutrition and these activating products, I don't see a way to prevent what he's saying from coming true unless we choose not to, or we opt out, or we make excuses. I can't afford that. It's not important. Why would I want to talk to that person? They're going to think I'm crazy. What if they find out you could have extended their life because you knew about it and someone else told them about it and you knew about it? How are you going to handle that kind of a question? I'd much rather think people think I'm crazy than ask me, why didn't you tell me about this? I thought we were friends. Don't ever want to have that discussion. So we're living in a very unique time. So get activated now. Shout from the rooftops, because people may think you're crazy, and that's okay. Because everybody who was thought crazy at one time, people will start to see what they're talking about as true. If there's truth and there's integrity to it, and they will eventually come on board. And as our evidence and our people's experiences get more and more numerous, we're going to start converting a lot of people who are disbelievers right now. And that's okay. Give them time, because until you take your last breath, you can always be activated. And that's the position we have right now. So thank you, Sandy. I'm so honored to be the first Doc Talk here. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dr. Nancy. Thank you, Sandy, for inviting me. It's my honor.
Well, we're certainly so glad. You know what? I know this right now. I'm going to die young at a ripe old age. I am feeling groovy, and I'm so excited that I am taking from God's pharmacy and God's garden the way it was supposed to be meant. So, Dondee, thank you so much for blessing us tonight. Guys, stay tuned for next week when Kim Kobinski is going to be sharing her LifeVantage story, and she will share that at same time, same place next Tuesday. We're so excited to have brought this to you. Again, do not forget, the time is now. No waiting. Get your body activated, and let's see what your GLP-1 story is. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and we will be seeing you next week.